That's a good question. Oh, I can hear myself, and I don't like that. I heard myself via you because you have via Discord.
Okay, now it's working. Okay, now it's working. Cool. How's everyone doing?
Who is
Yes,
everyone?
okay. Now, yes, everyone meaning 5 people. I mean, including probably the 2 of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably. The 2 of us, 2 Russian bot, and your buddy. There are hot aliens on Mars. Trust me.
Exactly. All right.
Oh,
Well,
6 people now. Oh my god, we're
oh man.
cruising. We're living the good life here.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, welcome to the show. Today we're gonna talk about E3 2021. Not last year's E3. Gonna be clear about that. It's this year's E3. I'm gonna, it's pretty important distinction, don't you think?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to put a screen over my face so it doesn't, because I see myself talking 2 times, and I'm just gonna put something over the screen. So because it's weird to hear you talking and then see you talking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So yeah, this is this Rebreak Radio, a video game podcast. You know, never seen one of those before, right? But yeah, we are thinking about bringing this back. I mean, we are bringing it back right now.
We're doing our best.
Yeah, we're doing our best. We're gonna try to get this started and going. But yeah, so before we get into E3 though, let's talk a little bit about what we've been playing ourselves. So Carl, have you been playing anything, doing anything that you want to talk about?
That is a good question. I don't play games right now because, being an adult, even though I have more time now than I've had in the last 3 years. But yeah, sometimes I play Paper Mario, the Origami King, because I'm currently doing a Let's Play of that. So that's about it. I sometimes log into Final Fantasy 14 and then be sad because I have literally nothing to do now that I'm done with raiding and whatnot until the next expansion. Oh yeah, actually I have played stuff. I just completely forgot about it. I completed the entirety of Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. The new I say, but it released 2019 or something like that.
Yeah, it's the spiritual successor to Castlevania, yeah.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, and now I have nothing else to play until I find something else to play. I have heard that a game called Omori is a very well-crafted game. It's also a very hard game to play. But,
not because it's hard in a difficulty sense.
Because you will feel bad. You will feel awful.
Yeah.
It's as far as I understand, it's like Earthbound, but instead of having low-key mental stuff in it, it's just, hey, it's Earthbound, but if you took everything about mental health issues and stuff and just brought it to the foreground. And that sounds very interesting because I like when games make you try to think about stuff in the real world. I know gaming are usually is something that you use to escape reality, but I also think that games have evolved to be more than just pastime fun stuff, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't really like the whole gaming is art, but gaming has some stuff that only games can do, and I think Omori is one of those games that can do that. But yeah, that's what I've been doing this past couple of weeks. How about you, Dennis? What have you been doing?
Speaking of games like that, I have spent the last few days getting the platinum trophy in The Last of Us Part 2. The second part of The Last of Us.
No, I thought it was the third.
Exactly.
Wait, wasn't the second part that one DLC where you made
Technically,
pirate
I
jokes or
mean,
whatever?
it is a prequel, so technically it's like The Last of Us Part 0. But yeah, so just I'm right now I'm waiting for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, as well as Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. So
Hasn't that game dropped, like, Intergrade?
Intergrade is coming out tomorrow, and
Okay.
Ratchet is coming out on Friday. So my plan for that is to just play Intergrade as long as I can, then play Ratchet all the way through, and then go back to Intergrade. That's my plan for that game.
God damn. You're a crazy man. Like, I mean, Integrate is probably gonna be like, oh, it's more Final Fantasy VII, and the remake was good, so and have fun. And Ratchet and Clank is currently the best like rated game of 2021, and it's not even released yet. So yeah, you're gonna have stuff to do.
Exactly.
And I'm just gonna sit there and cry because PlayStation 5s are a myth. I know you. I don't get it. You've been talking about it's just overblown. The whole PlayStation 5 is a myth thing. But seriously, I haven't found a single retailer that sells PlayStation 5s or that even lets you order or pre-order a PlayStation 5. So yeah, PlayStation 5s don't exist. So, but one day I will get it. In 3 years, when I have a PlayStation 5, I will play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I had to think about if I called him Clank or Crank, but I said Clank, unfortunately. Anyways.
But yeah, so it was so the reason I went back to this is a lightning to headphone adapter, by the way. I like to fiddle with things that are on my desk.
I fiddle with one of these paper clip
Oh my
things.
god, I do that all the time too. I don't have one right now, so that's why I don't do it. But yeah, I usually
That's that.
but yeah,
I have it. Yeah, sorry, no, continue.
Yeah,
It's
so
more important than paper clips.
the reason I went back to The Last of Us Part 2 is they released that performance patch. So you can now play the game at beautiful, gorgeous 60 frames per second. And it's really nice. It's really nice. And the performance is really almost flawless. Like, apart from, I think it was some kind of bug. Like, I went into this one section and the game just started actually running at 30 FPS. And I was like, what the hell is happening? But other than that, and I was able to fix it by just reloading the checkpoint. But other than that, it's been flawless 60 FPS.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if, it might be a bug. It might just be like, it might be a situation where they forgot to, if they had like another area or whatever. And I know, like, from seeing The Last of Us Part 2 has a lot of foliage.
That was
At least
actually
from
in an indoor
what I've
section.
seen.
But yeah, so
I
think
so it might be like, it might be like they had plans for an outdoor part or whatever.
I think probably
have forgotten. I don't know.
I think probably what happened there is just the switch for 60 FPS just kind of got accidentally flipped or something. Or maybe it was just that something went wrong and it didn't unload like a previous area or something, and like some kind of VSync kicked in for 30 frames. I don't know, but yeah, it was an easy fix, and it didn't happen during my initial 60 FPS run. I actually happened later when I went back through to collect all the collectibles. But yeah, it was great. I actually did a permadeath run, and so there's one trophy for completing the game with any permadeath setting at any difficulty. So obviously I did it on easy. But you could pick between whole game permadeath and per chapter permadeath. And I was like, I'm doing this only to get a trophy. I'm not doing this to prove anything. So I just picked the per chapter one, and I died 3 times. And what was really cool, actually, is that when you finished the game, you could see exactly how much time had been wasted to deaths. And I think it was 40 minutes for me. So that was pretty interesting.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it would have been really bad if I had to restart from the beginning, because one of the deaths was in the second half of the game. So, and it's a 30-hour game. Awesome. I think because I skipped a lot of the cutscenes because, I mean, I've played the game so many times already, but I found myself, because the game is so engaging, the story is really good, that I just found myself watching some cutscenes sometimes, even though I was like, I'm just gonna skip all the cutscenes for this run because I just want to finish it as quickly as possible. But I just found myself really enwrapped in the story multiple times. So yeah, but even then, I finished it in just under 17 hours with permadeath, only losing 40 minutes. So yeah, it was cool. But what I found is that the game wasn't really that fun to do this kind of run in, because it has so many cutscenes and so many parts where you're just walking from A to B, you know, and those parts are really cool when you're playing the game just as it is. But when in this kind of context, it's all about, can you survive? And then I wish I could have just been like catapulted between all the combat sections, you know. So
I feel like games like The Last of Us, heavy story-based, super long games, aren't fun to like replay because of the cutscenes.
I enjoy...
It also depends on why you replay it. If you replay it because you want to experience it again, then yeah, of course you want the cutscenes. But when you do it like that, because I know that having challenge runs can be really annoying to have these cutscenes, because at that point you don't care about the story. You know the story. You want to do a challenge. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the replayability is just as valid as rewatching a movie. Probably a little bit more so, because in this game you can like go back and play it on a harder difficulty, for instance. But yeah, it's not as replayable as something like I don't know, Fortnite.
oh, God. Well, that game is made to be played over and over again, so
yeah. In addition to that, I played and finished Returnal, and that game was great. It's probably the first roguelike or roguelite, I think this one is, that I actually enjoyed. I've never really liked the roguelike games. This one was interesting. I thought the story was really cool, how the story actually was enveloped and integrated into the game mechanics. Like the story is about this woman who lands or crash lands on a planet and gets stuck in a time loop, and some aspects are permanent. And the story is about her kind of figuring out why all of this is happening. And it's really cool that they were able to build a cool story around these very gamey elements. Like, there isn't really anything in real life that have any kind of analog to roguelike elements, you know. So I mean, the story is pretty trippy, but it's pretty cool. So, and there's specifically, I'm not gonna spoil it, but halfway through the game there is one thing that happens that I would rank as one of the best twists in any story that I've ever seen.
You don't talk about it, because Returnal is a game I really wanna play one day.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
3 years when I have my thing. But yeah, I remember it was still like really funny when we were talking about Returnal and I told you it's a roguelite and you were so angry after that. It was so funny. You were like, oh my god.
yeah.
So,
That
but
was
it's good to hear that you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, it's probably a very good roguelite game. It's just a game in general.
yeah, yeah. It was really enjoyable. Other than that, oh yeah, right. There's one game that has enveloped my existence for quite some time.
Oh, oh right. You came out of the closet in not that way. Goddamn nerd.
So I bought this thing. This is well, there's my wallpaper too. Look, it's Ellie. But yeah, no, I bought this thing. It's the Backbone one, and I wanted it because I mean I have an iPhone 12. It's probably the most most powerful portable device in existence right now, and when you have something like that, you want to see what the hell it can do. So I was just like pushing it, and one of the most graphically intensive games that are on mobile right now is Genshin Impact. And I mean, I had some friends who recommended me the game back when it came out. I don't know if you were one of them.
Nope.
No, yeah.
I don't like that game, so.
So, but I was like, this is just like this is literally a Chinese ripoff of Breath of the Wild. Like, there's jokes about how how you have like you go to like Alibaba and you find all of these copies of the normal products. Like, this is literally a Chinese ripoff of a video game. And so I obviously dismissed it immediately. But it's way more than that. Like, it's not just that. So and also there's just waifus everywhere. So I was like, this is not for me. I'm not gonna engage with this game. So I give this a shot, and also it's free to play, which I don't like either. So it was just a bunch of stuff that I was just not gonna like. So I give it a shot, and I like it. I mean, the free to play elements aren't really that egregious, and also the game actually has some thought put into it, which I didn't expect. If I were to rank Genshin Impact and Immortals Phoenix Rising, which are two kind of Breath of the Wild ripoffs, or borrows heavily from Breath of the Wild, I think this one's better. This one's actually the better game. Both of them miss out on pretty like fundamental aspects of Breath of the Wild, like how the entire game was playable without a map. But
Yeah, there's a lot
waypoints.
of like. There's a lot of Breath of the Wild has waypoints though.
Yeah, but you don't need them. You can play the whole game
No,
without
but
waypoints.
oh god.
You can't play the game realistically without waypoints. People tell
No, I
you where
know.
you need to go. There are landmarks to walk to, and all this stuff. Obviously, it won't be as convenient, but it's not like, I mean, you can play a game like GTA 5 without waypoints, but you're gonna have to walk around a lot and make a lot of trial and error. But I guess technically
GTA 5
it is
map
possible.
Is way smaller though.
Yeah, but I mean, the game, like Breath of the Wild, is designed to be played without waypoints or a map, and those things were added for convenience. But yeah, the game was against pretty good, and recently they added a new update, which basically adds Wind Waker into the game. But I jumped in, and it's pretty underwhelming so far. I don't know, maybe it expands at some point. Like, there are 4 islands. 4 tiny islands that aren't even inhabited. Like, am I missing? Like, I feel like I'm missing something. It's not what it looked like in the trailers.
I remember when you told me about it's gonna be like Wind Waker. I'm like, oh, that's a very high bar.
Yeah.
At least for me, because I really love that game. But God, I don't want to jump in. I tried Genshin Impact. Everyone's like, oh, you have to. I tried it. Thought, no, thank you. I don't like this game. And then everyone's like, no, you didn't play enough, because that's always what happens when you say you don't like a game. You didn't play
It gets
enough,
good
you didn't
30
play
hours
enough.
in.
No, but everyone's like, or my friend who I actually like, my good friend, and she told me, no, at least play it to like level 10 or 11 or whatever. So I was like, fine, I'll do that. Got to level 10 or 11. I'm like, it's not as bad, but it's still not my thing. I'm not a gacha person. Typically, no, it isn't my type of thing, and I feel like it relies too heavily on the whole gacha thing, which is fine because it's a free-to-play game, but it's still not for me.
Yeah, I'm also realizing as I've spent some more time in it that I was incredibly lucky with my rolls. For like my first maybe like 10 pulls or something, I always got a character. And I and I thought that was just like a thing, like, oh, you always get one character in every pull, but no, that's that's not what it is. I was just extremely lucky, I guess.
That's because you never played this a type of game like this before, so they want to like the world wants to pull you in by giving you like the best rolls now.
Yeah.
And then later you're only gonna get like whatever tier 2 weapons or whatever. Never gonna get what you want.
Yeah. But yeah, it was so yeah, I've enjoyed it a bit. I probably don't think I would have played it very much if I didn't have this to play it on, so I could just watch it, so I could play while like watching YouTube or something. Like, it's not that engaging. The story is, there are some interesting parts about the story, but like, it's so much talking. Like, I was getting into the Wind Waker part, and like, we walk around and talk to like every character in the game, and I'm like, why are we doing this? I just want to go and sail the fucking boat. It was obnoxious.
I know that, like, I don't know how many, you're not a JRPG person or an anime person or a weeb. I'm just joking around that you're a weeb because you play a lot of Genshin Impact. But yeah, like, from the story I played, oh god, is that a very, very, very run-of-the-mill story. Like, it's like, you can, if you've seen enough, if you consumed enough media that has that type of story, like anime or JRPGs and stuff like that, you could predict stuff from like a million miles away, a million Swedish miles away, and that's a lot. So yeah. So don't really. I mean, it's the first. So it's probably better for you, but you don't really have to pay attention, I think.
Yeah, I think probably the coolest thing, like in the long term for the game, is that I really like that the plan is like, there are in the lore there are like 7 regions, all of which have like a god that looks over it, and I think it's really cool that there are only 2 regions in the game right now. And the plan is to put in all 7 regions. And like, I'm pretty excited to see what the game looks like when all 7 regions are in there. Like, this game is gonna be huge. Because the map is already like pretty fucking big. So yeah, it's gonna be cool to see. But yeah, I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about. So, shall we get into what we actually came here to talk about, which is E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo?
Yeah. I've been very open with Dennis that I don't really like. I'm not that like. I say like a lot now because I'm trying to formulate my thoughts, and that's how I do. No, I'm not super into what to expect from E3. I'm a very passive observer when it comes to those types of gaming events. So I only have like, I don't have that many, and most of them are very vanilla, like predictions and stuff. I don't know about you though. Maybe you have more interesting stuff, but I think we're gonna have very similar predictions. So
yeah, maybe. So we'll see. I'm gonna let you start with your first one.
Yeah. Well, since we are both Nintendo nerds, I'm just gonna start with Nintendo.
Yeah, we'll start with Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very certain that the big game from Nintendo for this E3 is gonna be Breath of the Wild 2, and I'm not expecting like a lot of information, but I am expecting like another trailer with that it's not as weird as the one from 2019 was. So a little bit more about the story and a little bit more about how maybe the structure and the world is gonna be in this new Breath of the Wild 2, and probably a title and not just Breath of the Wild 2,
Yeah,
because I don't expect it to be, because it's not even called Breath of the Wild 2. It's literally called the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
exactly. Yeah.
So it doesn't really have a title yet. So it's probably gonna be like some weird like the Return of Ganondorf or whatever.
What if it's actually
Uh,
called The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel?
That's some untitled goose game shit, but not funny. So no, I don't think so. I also expect them to announce a Zelda Direct because it's its 35th anniversary and they've been quiet. They're like, oh, we're gonna release this. We're gonna remake Skyward Sword and put it on the Switch and have this expensive ass amiibo that people are gonna cry about forever. And that's about it. So I'm expecting them to announce a trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 and then a Zelda Direct where they will talk more about Breath of the Wild 2 and hopefully some other cool stuff for Zelda on the Switch. I'm waiting for my Mario 35th anniversary Zelda edition, basically. I just want to play Ocarina of Time again and Majora's Mask, but really, I think we've talked about it, and realistically, if they're making a collection like that, it's gonna be Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess. But I can't see them. I have a yes, you go.
So I don't think they're gonna announce like any direct right now. Like it's gonna come later. Probably be announced sometime during the summer. I mean, I think the Mario 35th anniversary direct happened in August or September, something
I don't
like
remember.
that.
I just woke up. No, sorry. I went into Twitter and everyone was exploding about the Mario Direct. I don't even remember if they did that or if they... I want to remember them shadow dropping the Mario 35th Direct. But...
Oh, yeah, they did. It wasn't even a stream. It was just a video that they dropped, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, they just shadow dropped all of this cool Mario stuff for the Switch. So...
Yeah. So yeah, I think they're gonna do a similar thing. They're probably gonna live stream it this time because Nintendo's a little bit more coordinated now. But yeah, my prediction for that, I mean, just a sidebar tangent for the Zelda Direct, which is probably gonna happen sometime later. I don't think they're gonna do a 3-pack like they did with Mario. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna do two packs.
That sounds dumb.
So my
Sorry,
prediction.
Go ahead.
My prediction is that they're gonna do a 2-pack for Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, and a 2-pack for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and it's specifically gonna be the Wii U remakes, the remasters for Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, and then they're gonna do HD-ified version similar to what they did with Miitopia, with the 3DS remakes for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And I'm also gonna predict that the Majora's Mask version is gonna have some changes to it, because the 3DS remake of Majora's Mask notoriously had some changes that people didn't like.
I hope that we don't get the 3DS version. I hope that we get the OG version. I know that I mean,
the new versions are so much prettier, though.
Yeah, but Majora's Mask on the 64 is better than the one on 3DS.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I think they're gonna at least offer a mode where it reverts those changes.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna give us the OG because in the Mario 35th thing that that's one of the thing that I agree it's outrageous that they temporarily sold the bundle and the games are not available to buy now.
Yeah, that is
But anyway,
dumb.
They were all ROMs. Like people were data mining and they found out just it was a ROM of Mario 64 and of Sunshine and Galaxy and whatever. So they're probably just gonna put the ROM for Majora's Mask if they do that, and same with Ocarina of Time. Even though, like for Ocarina of Time, I think the 3DS version is a vast superior product. For Majora's Mask, the original is way better. So, but I'm expecting that if they do that, it's gonna be the originals from the 64 because it's much easier than the newer games.
I mean, I feel
At
like
least in my mind.
I feel like the Miitopia port is them testing the waters for this.
Yeah, maybe. They were so surprising. I
mean,
didn't expect how positive people were to Miitopia.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Isn't it Gresso that makes Miitopia as well?
I do not know. I'm looking it up.
I think it's Gresso that's behind that one because
Miitopia is developed by Nintendo. Cool.
It's just Nintendo.
I just googled Miitopia, but this is the 3DS version, so Switch. Yeah, it's Nintendo and Nintendo Entertainment and planning and development.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, then maybe not. But I still think I'm still holding out hope for the 3DS versions. I think the N64 versions are just they're just ugly and played out at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, they have their charm. But I know that you don't like old stuff.
I mean, I think Mario 64 has aged way better than Ocarina of Time.
I do not agree. But
graphically.
That's a story for another day, or a discussion for another day.
But yeah, back to E3. We're ending this tangent. Yeah, so I agree, obviously, about Breath of the Wild 2. I think we're going to see gameplay. I think we're going to get kind of an overview about what is different about this game, because one of the things we do know about the game is that it's going to use the same overworld. And that was acceptable if the game would have come out maybe like a year or two after the original. But now it's been a long fucking time. And if it's just that, then people are going to be outraged about this game. Because everyone, like a lot of people have spent hours upon hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in this game. People like me who have played this game for over like 400 hours know the entire world inside out. It's not going to be fun to play Breath of the Wild 2 if there's nothing new about it.
They're not gonna make that just the same. Like, I think the big example from the trailer we saw is that Hyrule Castle was rising up. So I think it's gonna be a lot of, like, the general structure is gonna be the same, but when you actually explore, it's gonna be different. That's what I expect, and I expect, like, I have some thoughts about what they will do, and my serious thoughts are like they are gonna go back to more a traditional structure for the game. So they're gonna have a lot more linear. And they're gonna have the dungeons with dungeon items and whatnot. I don't expect them to go full linear. I expect them to still keep some of that Breath of the Wild charm. But yeah, I think they're gonna go to a more linear pace, and if they do that, they can tailor the world a lot more than what they did with the original Breath of the Wild. I still though have my hopes, because I thought about this when the new trailer, or when the old trailer dropped, that I wanted a Ganondorf that hunts Link. So I just want him to be like a zombie Ganondorf that randomly pops up and is like an unkillable enemy that does a lot of damage and you can't really fight him.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and I call him the SAX Ganondorf. And like some, like imagine, I think, I don't remember if I had some weird pitch for this. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Something about, yeah, like a pseudo horror game. similar to how the SAX was in Metroid Fusion.
Yeah.
It would really like you're exploring, and like, oh, I'm gonna fight these enemies, and you just get really silent, like, and then thunder happens, and then ominous music starts, and Ganondorf just pops out of the ground
So
and just
so
starts hunting you. That would be really cool, but it's not gonna happen.
so Breath of the Wild 2 is Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, except with a better villain, because Fury Bowser was scary once, and then it got annoying.
So my prediction for how they're gonna throw things around a little bit in this game is that it's gonna have a dark world. And I specifically wrote it down as dark world. Like it could be a literal dark world, or it could be some kind of equivalent to a dark world. I don't think it's gonna be literally a dark world because it sounds a little bit too derivative for Nintendo. But yeah, it's gonna be something that is similar to a dark world, and I think that would be super cool in a game like this. Like we haven't had a dark world in a 3D Zelda, right?
No.
The closest one is the Twilight Realm.
Yeah, but the Twilight Run was a dungeon. Or are you talking about the whole when Twilight was enveloping the world?
Yeah,
But that's not
pretty
really
much
the
the
same
closest
thing
one.
as the Dark World, because that was just a color change, and you only could play as a wolf.
Yeah, it was an Instagram filter.
Yeah, basically. I liked it. I thought it was like cool, and I really liked the whole story aspect of it. But it's not the Dark World. The Dark World is a completely different place.
Mm.
It's the whole overhauled Hyrule place, basically, or Lowrule as it's called in the new one. But that would be cool. But I think they're not gonna do a Dark World. I think they're gonna just change the world.
What if they actually do low rule?
No.
That
I
would
don't
be
think.
awesome. What if we got Breath of the Wild Hilda? Yes! That would be
We haven't,
awesome.
we haven't really explored who Zelda is, just who Zelda was. So why would we explore? Why would he just kind of, oh, we're gonna introduce Zelda 2 or whatever?
Zelda
know.
2, The
No.
Adventure of Link.
Oh God.
So, by the way, right, that's another one of my predictions for Breath of the Wild 2, is that I think it's
of the
going to
Zelda.
have co-op. 2, it's going to mean co-op. You're going to be able to play as Zelda and Link with a friend.
That would be cool. I don't think they will do that.
come?
Unfortunately. I've seen some like I still like a part of me hopes for the whole Ganondorf is a good guy, because people have put that in my head that it could be really cool. People have put it in my head that about the whole ancient hero or whatever could be Ganondorf because, you know, red hair and whatever. But I don't think so. But it would be really cool to have Ganondorf as a not bad guy. But no, it's not gonna happen, unfortunately. But yeah, it would be cool to have to be able to play as Zelda, because she deserves to be a playable character.
Yeah, I think even if it's not co-op, I think Zelda will be playable this time. I think that's gonna happen. Maybe Zelda is the only playable character. Maybe like
No.
Link gets
Link has
kidnapped or
his arm
something.
thing.
Yeah,
Link has
that's
his arm
right.
thing, and that's gonna be the new Sheikah Slate. It's gonna transform. His arm is gonna transform into stuff. Whatever. I just hope they give Ganondorf a character. I hope he gets to hydrated. He gets to like turn into. I was gonna make a Weeb reference, and then I realized I'm in a call with you, so I'm not gonna do that.
But yeah, I
I
really
hope
hope
that
we
he just
get.
gets swole and has a character. It isn't just a mindless redead.
Yeah, I really hope we get a new Ganondorf design, because we still have the Twilight Princess Ganondorf design and the Ocarina of Time Ganondorf, and we haven't
gonna
really
be-
gone past that one yet.
It's gonna be like a more. It's gonna be a more savage version of the one from the first Hyrule Warriors. I liked Ganondorf in the first Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, I was a big proponent for putting Hyrule Warriors Ganondorf in Smash, but they just went back to Ocarina of Time instead.
I think that just has to do with they don't want to completely change a character, because the one in Hyrule Warriors fought in such a different way. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really I thought that was really cool, and I think they're gonna do something similar because he has really long hair in this one, and he seems like his build, even though he's dehydrated at the moment, when you look at his build, it's way more like it's almost to an extreme that he's like big and very muscly if he was hydrated, and I think hopefully they're gonna hydrate him so he can be big and muscly, and like I want Ganondorf to be a threat, like an active threat. A little bit more similar to how it was on Ocarina of Time, but take it even more, because in every other game, except for like Wind Waker maybe, Ganondorf was just this looming background character. Like, give me a Ganondorf front and center. He's like the big bad, and you know he's the big bad. That's what I hope for.
Yeah, like Ganondorf is a character that has been showing up like in a lot of Zelda games, but it's really only Ocarina of Time where he is prevalent as the villain.
Yeah, Wind Waker is, and I agree, is the best representation of Ganondorf.
Oh, definitely.
Because he has a character.
Yeah.
And Ocarina of Time is just basic. It's an old game. The story wasn't super like involved. Let's just say in Wind Waker, Ganondorf actually had some motivations for doing what he was doing, and it wasn't just I'm gonna be evil because I am evil because this ancient dumbass demon decided to create me to be evil. No, he actually was like, no, I want Hyrule back, and then I'm gonna be evil. But I want Hyrule back. Now I want Hyrule back, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, his end goal has always been getting the Triforce, but the Triforce has been weird. I don't really like when they make Zelda have the Triforce. That's a bit too weird to me. I like the whole Ocarina of Time thing they had, where each of the pieces went to Link and Zelda and Ganondorf. But in Breath of the Wild, she just has the Triforce. And in a lot of games, she just has the Triforce, or it's just a thing the royal family has.
So one of the so I have one question. Does Link have the Master Sword at the beginning of the game, and does he keep it?
Yes, I think they're gonna do some weird retconny-ish, but not really explanation of why it was so quote unquote weak in the original Breath of the Wild, because it could break. And I think a big part of the game is going to be like exploring why the Master Sword isn't, like, it's been laying dormant for 10,000 years, more or less. So poor Fie hasn't been stretching her legs, so she needed to do that. And then it's going to be like similar to how you did in Skyward Sword, spoilers I guess, where you had to upgrade the sword. I think that's what they're going to do. I hope that's what they're gonna do. And then you have the Master Sword, and that's the only weapon you have, and you have to like make it work again.
So you think they're gonna remove the weapon gallery part of the original?
I hope they do. It was cool. It was a cool concept. I didn't hate it as much as other people did, but I would prefer it to be a first Breath of the Wild thing and not just a new Zelda thing. I like the idea of having multiple weapons to use, but I feel like it's time to have a more story-focused game where you just have the Master Sword and you don't shift the focus too much. That is what I want, so...
So yeah, anything else about Breath of the Wild, or should we... keep going?
No, I just hope that we see more info. I hope the game gets released, period. Or full stop, or whatever. Yeah.
So my next prediction is that... so let's talk about... I assume you have some kind of prediction for Super Smash Brothers.
Nope.
No.
But I it slipped my mind. I haven't played that game in half a year.
Yeah,
Or
but
no, sorry,
okay.
I haven't played that game since the release of Pyro and Mifra. So
But even when I prompt you about it, you probably have some kind of guess for who you think is going to be revealed.
no and yes, I have guesses for who aren't gonna be revealed.
So who do you think is not going to be revealed?
Crash Bandicoot because Banjo-Kazooie exists.
Well, I think we're going to
But
see Crash Bandicoot.
I do not think it's gonna be Crash Bandicoot. And I am gonna stay my course on. I do not want Waluigi as a playable character. Because I am one of the people who genuinely dislike that character, and I'm so tired of him. And I would just be sad. I can't really complain about which character gets added because I've gotten every single character I wanted in the game. I've gotten in Smash. So I can't really complain which gets in or doesn't get in, but I'm still gonna be upset if Waluigi gets in.
I have two characters that I want. Two characters that I want in Smash, and that's Crash and Waluigi.
I don't think you're gonna get any of them. I agree.
I think we're getting Crash. Like, who else are they gonna put in the game?
A third-party character, or no, not even that. Maybe it's time to add an indie character that's not Minecraft Steve. Add an indie character that's not the
Minecraft Steve
biggest
isn't
fucking
an indie
character
anymore.
Exactly. I mean, technically, because he was created, or they, because it's both Steve and whatever, Alex, I think it's called.
Yeah.
They were created as indies. But I want to see, like, an actual indie character. Yeah, another Fire Emblem character. But I remember I was watching, I think it was, what are they called now? Something. The guys who was at Game Explain and then left and made a new channel.
Good Vibes Gaming.
Yeah, Good Vibes Gaming. I was watching that, and one of them said that they're probably gonna announce the both characters. One that's highly requested, and the other one that would make people upset if they just announced that. Similar to when they ended the first pack with Byleth. People were really, really angry because it was a Fire Emblem character. Even though I think Byleth was a cool addition.
So, I mean, the safe part is that there hasn't been another Fire Emblem announced.
But why would they?
But
3 Houses sells like fucking butter.
But you know, what could happen is that they announce another Fire Emblem game, and then the last character is another Fire Emblem character.
I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna have 2 new Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah, I mean, I hope
added,
they don't.
like they added. Byleth was an understandable addition because 3 Houses was incredibly popular.
Yeah.
Robin was a good addition because Awakening was a very, very, very popular game. It reinvigorated the franchise. It rescued the franchise from dying.
Yeah.
Korn wasn't a good addition because that was just added to be added.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna add another Fire Emblem character, and I don't think they're gonna announce another Fire Emblem game. At least not a new one. They might announce a Echoes from an older game.
Yeah.
So
there are rumors that they're gonna announce a remake of Genealogy of the Holy War.
I don't know which game.
100% is gonna get a new title. Like, that game is not gonna have that title anymore. First of all, it has holy in it, which Nintendo, they don't like religious imagery in anything that they do. And that sounds a little bit too religious to me. So yeah, that game is 100% getting a new title if they announce that remake. But yeah, they did say when they announced Shadows of Valentia that this Echoes thing is a new brand. Because I mean, they didn't say that they were working on more remakes, but they did correct people when they called the game Echoes. They wanted people to call it Shadows of Valentia.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do that, and I I had my problems with Shadows of Valentia because
I
they
didn't play
took they took extremely outdated design. Like that game has so much garbage design in my opinion, and they didn't change it. So I hope that if they do more Echoes types games, I hope they actually do look at the bad stuff and change it for the better. Like I don't want to do the same map 3 times, but they just add more units each time. And the map design is so boring. Like, it was ridiculous. It's just a flat plane, and there were like 20 horse units. I'm like, how is this interesting? And that's one of the maps you have to do. And
So
it's just over and over and over. So I hope if they do more Echoes types game, they're gonna look at the maps and make them not bad.
So, I mean, Shadows of Valentia was based on Fire Emblem Gaiden, which is an NES game. Genealogy of the Holy War is a Super Nintendo game, or Super Famicom game. So, I mean, those games were a little bit more... I mean, Super Nintendo was a little bit more into the... Oh yeah,
Game
we
design.
have there are game design principles.
Yeah.
NES
To
games
be
don't
fair,
really have that.
NES was literally like, hey, we have created the wheel.
Yeah.
How do we improve this? SNES.
NES games are like NES games are like, ooh, the wheel can roll.
basically. But yeah, I do hope if they do more, they look at how to improve and not just copy and paste it, because that's what they did with Shadows of Valentia. They copied and pasted the maps. They added cool new stories, but if I do think they want to look at what the new ones does and does it better, because the support thing, you have to waste 2 characters' turns in a map to get a support for some reason. You can't do it outside of the maps, which is ridiculous, in my opinion. I don't think you waste them, but I think you have to do it in the maps. You have to break formation to put one character next to the other and press talk, and then you get the support, instead of doing it the logical way in between. So yeah, but I think they should look into, if they do another one, they should look into how they can improve it without just changing the game, obviously. But yeah, that's what I hope. I'm probably not gonna play it because I don't like Fire Emblem. I loved at least the Blue Lions route in Three Houses.
I mean, Golden Deer was the objectively best one.
No. I've played Golden Deer, and I can say I think it wasn't that good. The story was not good.
But you can agree that Claude is a likable character.
Yeah, he's a likable character. I think the story was very, very not thought out. I've thought about how would I make the story better, and that's by literally not focusing on everything at once. And when I played Blue Lions, they only focused on one part. They focused on the human aspect of the large war, basically. And that was all they focused on. Nothing about the whole background stuff and whatever. So that's what I like. They had a more focused story. And then when I played Golden Deer, and it didn't have that focused story, and I felt, wait, what happened? And then just randomly, the last boss is just someone you wouldn't expect to be the last boss of the Golden Deer route, to be honest. But yeah, at least it isn't the worst route because Silver Moon exists, and that route is forgotten.
Oh yeah, that was like
Because-
some DLC thing, right?
No. The game has 4 paths.
Okay.
Not 3, it has 4. And if you do the Black Eagle, no, yes, whatever, the bad route, I'm gonna call it, because I'm an Edelgard hater, because my boy Dimitri. So if you do that route, you have some choices you have to do to unlock the Black Eagle route. So technically that is the hidden path, because you have to do some weird stuff. And if you don't do that weird stuff, you go into another route that is the church route. But from what I understand, that route is very, very weird and has some weird characterizations, and the story is just not really there.
Interesting. I didn't even know about that.
But yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
So there are a lot of rumors about a Donkey Kong game developed by the team behind Super Mario Odyssey. So what do we think about this game? Is it happening?
I have no idea. I haven't really heard about the rumors, and I don't trust rumors. Listen, I am waiting for Elden Ring to release. I don't trust rumors of anything right now.
But yeah, so
but
I mean, the rumors.
If they do, I think this is a good picture that someone has leaked from the new game.
What is this? Oh yeah, Dinky and Doddy.
That picture is great. That picture is great.
Dinky and Doddy.
So dumb. I love it. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. If they do, I do.
Here's Dinky and Doddy on stream.
That is from high places. I've gotten this render from the new Donkey Kong game created by the makers of Mario Odyssey.
Yes.
It's Diddy Kong grew up and got a son that he named after Donkey Kong. God, that looks so cursed. I hate it with everything.
Yeah, it's very cursed.
Yes.
Anyways,
if they do, I hope that it's not a 2D. I hope it's a 3D game, because I think they could evolve the 3D collectathon genre, because it kind of already did with Odyssey. But yeah, I don't have that much opinions, but I think it would be cool with a 3D Donkey Kong game.
I also think it's a 3D game. That's what the team is like made to do. You know, like they probably went from Odyssey into making this game. So yeah, I mean, sure they could do a 2D game, but the expertise behind this team is making 3D platformers. So yeah, I think this is a 3D Donkey Kong game, and that is pretty fucking exciting to me. I've wanted a 3D Donkey Kong game for a while, and Odyssey was quite unusual for Mario games. Usually Mario games nowadays are often pretty sterile, and Mario Odyssey was not sterile. That one had a completely new design for Mario that was a lot more detailed, and they went some weird places with like Bowser and Peach was gonna get married. They had in the end there was like an anime kind of song. It was really weird.
The only Nintendo game with a song that has lyrics.
Yeah, and what brings this rumor, what gives this rumor some credit, I think, is that Odyssey had a lot of connections to Donkey Kong. New Donk City has it's obviously New Donk City, of course, but all of the street names are named after Rare's Donkey Kong characters, which is interesting. And also Pauline shows up, like the actual Pauline design from Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So yeah, like there was a lot of connections to the Donkey Kong series in that game, and that could be because that was the game that was going to be planned next. So I could see this game's. My prediction is that it's going to be quite similar to Odyssey, but with with Donkey Kong flavors. It might not just be like exactly like Odyssey, but it's gonna be quite reminiscent, I think. And it is gonna. I think it's gonna have story connections to Odyssey. I think this is gonna be Odyssey. Like, I think this is gonna be Odyssey 2. Heavy air quotes on it, but this is Odyssey 2. You're muted.
Am I? Everything doesn't have to be a connected universe, you know. Is what I'm gonna say. I don't really think it's gonna be its own thing. That's what I believe. If it's a thing. Anyway, I think we should move forward from just rumors.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do like Splatoon 3 stuff.
Yeah.
I almost guarantee it. I don't have any thoughts. I didn't play the first game. I played like 10 minutes of the second game. I might play the third game. I don't really have any opinions. It's probably gonna be more of this, more Splatoon, basically.
Yeah, I also think they're gonna show Splatoon. Did they announce a date for that? There was a year at the end, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe 2021, like end of 2021. I don't know. It's one of the. I mean, it is one of, if whether you like it or not, it is one of the big new like franchises. So
yeah, they have announced.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's their November release.
They have said 2022 for it.
Okay, so it's gonna be early.
I could see some small visions of it, but at the same time, no. I think they said they're gonna focus on games releasing in 2021, and I think everything that is not 2021 will be new game reveals.
I mean, they said that with the last direct, and it's gonna be only games in 2021.
No, they didn't say only. They said like focus on games in 2021. I remember the wording being specifically quite open for things that are not in 2021. So I think everything we see that is not 2021 will be new game reveals. I don't think we're gonna see anything that is already slated to be released outside of 2021. What about Bayonetta 3? Do we see it?
No. I think it's gone the route of Metroid Prime 4. That's what I think.
I think we're seeing Bayonetta 3. I'm gonna predict that. I'm gonna say we're seeing Bayonetta 3.
I don't believe that. It's one of those it's one of the legendary games that we're never gonna see, just like Elden Ring.
So
yeah, I also think after Splatoon 3 in my predictions, I had just a lot of high rated indies that are gonna come to Switch. And
that made me think. I think we're gonna see Hollow Knight Silksong in their direct.
That's your Bloodborne 2. That's your Bloodborne 2, basically. It's Silksong.
They announced that Hollow Knight was coming to Switch in an E3 direct. It was a 2018 E3. So they're clearly high tier enough that Nintendo considers them for their actual directs. So I think, and we haven't seen Silksong in a long time now. There was, I think, an Edge article, Edge magazine. I think it was Edge magazine, earlier this year. But other than that, we haven't seen anything from Silksong in a really long time. And I think this is the time. It's probably coming out this year.
Maybe. I don't know. It's not. I don't feel like there's enough information about it for it to be it's gonna come out this year. But if it does,
it's been in development for such a long time.
I have to beat the original one. I still haven't done that.
It is such a good game.
The end. I know that you like it. But yeah.
Anything else, Nintendo?
And then my big hopes is that they don't forget that Nintendo Online exists and adds a new online virtual console.
Will it be
either Game Boy Online or Nintendo 64 Online?
Wouldn't it be funny if they added Virtual Boy before Game Boy?
No, fuck. People they would think it would be funny. People would not like it, and I wanted them this isn't funny because I don't think the SNES or NES are especially they don't really sell online. You buy online because you want to play like Mario Kart with other people or Smash with other people. You don't buy it to play SNS or NES games. So if they haven't forgotten it, I think they probably should. They should add another virtual online thing. And like, while I hope for Nintendo 64, if they are gonna add one, I expect it to be Game Boy. And when I say Game Boy, I mean everything from Game Boy to Game Boy Advanced.
I'm still not gonna forgive Nintendo for not putting Virtual Boy games on 3DS. That was such a missed opportunity. I don't understand why they never did that.
Nintendo makes very weird choices, like very weird choices. So who knows?
But yeah, I could
Yeah,
see them
I don't
do.
know.
I could see them do Game Boy or Nintendo 64. I mean, there was references to other Nintendo 64 games in 3D All Stars. So I could see that emulator being base work for a Nintendo Switch Online. That would make sense. My prediction back in the day when we knew 3D All Stars was gonna be shelved after, well, when we knew Mario was going to be murdered. My theory was that 64 was coming to Switch Online alongside other 64 games, and then Sunshine and Galaxy were to be sold on the eShop. That was my theory back then. I'm still technically not wrong yet.
You're holding out for a Galaxy 2.
Yeah, and I was
It's gonna
also
be
gonna
like just a port for $60 or however, like 600 kroner. Oh god, like it's so fucking expensive. Like I'm not. There are people that are really, really upset about the expensive games, and I think it's. I don't like that it's expensive, but I also don't really. I can see why they would think that by releasing a very high-rated game for that price is worth it. I can see that.
I don't
Even
think
though I don't really agree.
if they're re-releasing Galaxy 2 or any of those, any Wii game or GameCube game, I don't see them releasing them at $60.
They're gonna do that.
I think
they have some really expensive games.
I think the outlier here is Skyward Sword, which is not just a Wii game. Like, that game is an actual remaster of Skyward Sword. And back on the Wii U, they released Wind Waker and Twilight Princess at the, I think it was the standard. No, I think they sold those for $50 on the Wii U. Maybe 40.
That's still very expensive. I can look it up just.
But yeah, and if we look at some games, like, they had some budget titles back then, or like quote unquote budget titles, and Tropical Freeze was obviously considered a budget title back then because it was 50, and now it's 60. It's clear that they have removed that tier from their pricing. But I think if they were to release those, they're gonna be 30, similar to Game Builder Garage.
Twilight Princess HD was sold for $59.99.
So 60 buckaroos.
Yep. And like, that's sure they upped the fucking textures, but that's about it. So they like selling old games for really expensive amounts of money.
Yeah. Twilight Princess they spent a lot of time and effort updating the textures. Like, they had to add new canon to the lore of Twilight Princess because some things were just not legible in the original textures. That was funny. But with Wind Waker, they completely redid the lighting model, and that game looks more fair. Absolutely gorgeous.
They could. I want Wind Waker on the Switch because I want to be able to play Wind Waker I don't want to dig up my Wii U. Let me play it on the Switch.
Yeah, same.
But it will be. I fully expected to say, oh, we're gonna release Wind Waker on the Switch or Wind Waker HD on the Switch. It's gonna be full price. Like I fully expect it to be full price. So, anyways,
So nothing else Nintendo?
no, nothing that like comes to mind.
So, okay, let's look at Microsoft. So do you have anything from Microsoft? Microsoft slash Bethesda, because
I
they're a
can just
single
wrap it
company
up
now.
because I don't have a lot of like thoughts because I don't play I don't play Bethesda games, and B, I don't really care about Microsoft. So I'm just gonna go from the top to the bottom.
I'm not
We're
far
gonna
away
see
from
Elder
you
Scrolls-
there.
Yeah, we're not gonna see Elder Scrolls 6. We're gonna see information about Starfield. We're gonna see an update about Halo Infinite. Maybe some Doom stuff. Maybe some Game Pass stuff, and like a million stuffs has been bought by Microsoft. When I say stuff, I mean companies. They're like, oh, look at all these cool indie companies that you all love. We're just gonna absorb them now.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I'm
what Microsoft's gonna do.
Yeah, I think we're getting a release date for Halo Infinite. And we're gonna see how much. Ooh, look at how much better it is now. We don't have Craig anymore. Or maybe they're gonna embrace Craig. I don't know. I also think we're gonna see Starfield. We're gonna see Starfield gameplay, and it's gonna be announced to be an Xbox/PC exclusive. It's not coming to PlayStation.
Every single Bethesda game is gonna be an Xbox or a Microsoft exclusive.
And
So
you
PC
said
and
you
Xbox.
said maybe Game Pass stuff. They're gonna
Yeah,
mention
like-
Game Pass literally all the time. It's gonna be Phil Spencer saying, "And this is all coming to Game Pass."
Yeah, when I say Game Pass stuff, I don't mean just they're gonna reference Game Pass. I mean like actual tangible updates to Game Pass, and not just we're gonna add games to Game Pass. Yes, right. You do that every week or every other week. I don't know. You do that very often, anyways.
Yeah.
What I mean with Game Pass stuff, I am talking about actual updates to the service. That's what I. Maybe they were talking about that because they need to have a plan for that thing, because as you say, they're losing so much money on that. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it much on here because we have been gone. But I'm not really a believer in Game Pass. I don't think it can be realistically run for profit by any company, especially not even Microsoft. Like they're sinking so much money into that, but that's another topic. I think we're gonna see Perfect Dark. We're gonna see gameplay of Perfect Dark. They announced that at, was it Game Awards that they announced Perfect Dark?
I do not know. Perfect Dark isn't a game that's ever been on my mind. I know that a lot of people like it. I haven't played it. I don't really know what it's about. So no, I don't really remember when it was announced. Some ways back.
Yeah, it was Game Awards. But yeah, that could be cool. That's the first game by the studio that they actually created. They didn't buy the studio. They actually made this one from the ground up, The Initiative. And The Initiative is a studio that Microsoft made specifically to compete with Sony's first-party games. And that's exciting to me. Like they hired people from Sony Santa Monica and Naughty Dog to work on this project. So that excites me a lot. Perfect Dark is probably the game in Microsoft's portfolio that I am most excited for, simply because of what the studio that they created is created to do. And I also like that it's not a focused studio, like how 343 Industries is the Halo studio, and the Coalition is the Gears studio. Like those studios were made to make Halo and Gears games, and I think that's just a fundamentally flawed concept to begin with. And I liked The Initiative. We didn't know what they were gonna make, and they're making Perfect Dark. That's pretty cool. And it shows again Microsoft actually valuing the IP that they got from Rare 25 years ago.
You just reminded me of something, and that's that Microsoft
20 years ago.
That makes Destiny 2. Just mark my words, they're gonna announce something about, or do they actually care about Destiny 2?
Microsoft doesn't make Destiny 2.
No, but the company that makes... No, it doesn't. You're right. I'm dumb. It's Activision.
No, it's independent now.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's no longer on the Blizzard launcher.
Bungie's separated from Activision.
Cool. Okay, then that I was gonna be like, oh, they're gonna announce the next expansion, because currently the largest MMO on the planet is gonna release its expansion in November. So every MMO is gonna be like, I want a piece of that cake. A lot of people are like talking about, this is a side tangent, a lot of people are talking about Blizzard, that they are gonna release the next big patch around the time that the next expansion for Final Fantasy XIV is released, just to compete. And
that's dumb.
Who knows how that will go, but they always do that. They always plan, like Blizzard always look at when will Final Fantasy XIV release stuff, and we release at the same time. The problem is now that Final Fantasy XIV is bigger than World of Warcraft at the moment. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, because World of Warcraft is shit. Sorry, it's gone downhill. And the company has some very, very questionable tactics, or the developers have some very questionable design philosophies that no one likes. So there's like a constant stream of people going from World of Warcraft to Final Fantasy XIV because of how it is. And I'm just enjoying my time before Final Fantasy XIV turns to shit. I hope it doesn't do that, but I'm expecting it to. Whenever, like, one day, Square is gonna go, we want more money, and just gonna start being money-grubbing assholes like Activision is. But yeah, anyways.
So anything else Microsoft?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're probably gonna see more of Everwild. Rare's game. Which I'm very worried about, because when they talked about it last, they said that they don't even know what the gameplay is. Which, I don't know why you announce a game that you don't have any gameplay for. That's weird and extremely dumb. I mean, I'm a proponent for announcing projects in a similar way to the way movies do it, where they kind of announce, oh, this thing is being made, but they showed in-engine stuff, and I think that's too far if you don't have any gameplay.
I like the game information. This is Everwild, a new original IP from Rare with an unforgettable experience that awaits in the wild in a magical world. I had to translate that from Swedish on the top of my head because I'm the Swedish site for some reason. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah,
Rare is doing weird stuff at the moment.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, we've spent quite some time in Sea of Thieves recently.
That game is so weird. Like, there are some really cool stuff, and then there are some other stuff that makes me not want to play that game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
decisions are weird. But yeah.
Yeah. But I think the fundamentals of that game are sound, are pretty good.
You know,
so, I mean, it's a lot of the fat on top of it that it's bad, makes it bad. But fundamentally, it is an engaging experience that has brought us back multiple times. So there is something at least bad there at Rare, but we'll see if they can nail it better this time.
Yeah. What's the game? The really cool game that looks like a Disney movie, but you can play it. That everyone is waiting by the people who made that Majora's Mask short.
Oh yeah, Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah, I kind of expected to see it there.
That's a PlayStation game.
Is it a PlayStation game?
Yes.
Okay. I have no idea which games are which.
Yeah, no, that's
So
it's a PS4 and PS5 game. I don't know if it's
yeah,
coming to PC or not, but
I hope so.
yeah, that game is gorgeous, absolutely
Yes.
insane. Um, so yeah,
I hope it doesn't go the way of Biomutant. I hope it's actually good.
yeah. Anything else, Microsoft, or is that it? Will we see any Gears 6 maybe?
I
Oh
I
yeah,
don't even
no,
know how
they
Gears
did
5 did.
say that they're not gonna be announcing anything for a while because they just jumped to Unreal Engine 5.
Oh god, that engine it's a beast.
Yeah, I can't run it
It's
on
a
my computer.
beast.
You need recommended amounts of RAM is 64 gigabytes, and that's recommended. Minimum is 32. I have 16. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to other. We have a category called other. And
I
it's
have
not
nothing.
there's
I'm
not
just gonna
it's
say
not a lot there. I wrote Hogwarts Legacy. I think that game has some potential. People like Harry Potter. People especially like Harry Potter when J.K. Rowling isn't involved. And that's the case with this game. So I think it's gonna
except
be.
Warner Bros. Are there. They're there and they have their dirty hands in that game.
Don't you mean Warner Bros. Discovery, which is what they're named now?
I don't care. I honestly.
Yeah, because
But yeah, I am.
the last thing we needed was more mega corporations being merged. Oh man.
I have nothing for other. I don't really. I don't know.
What
Like
about
the cool individual games are gonna be on the Games Summerfest, the Jeff Keighley thing. Uh, the cool individual games are not gonna be on E3. E3 is all about a big corporation. Just look how much money we have.
yeah. Oh,
That's
and did you see they're gonna do an awards show this time?
Why?
They're gonna have a hype award show, which is like, didn't you
What
just
is
see what
that,
happened?
Dylan?
Like they're basically gonna give out awards for like best of show and stuff, which is just bad. I
get
mean,
it.
did you remember what happened last time we did something like this? Cyberpunk. Games get overhyped. They come out and there's wide outrage because expectations are through the roof and they will never be met. We should not be hyping games like this. It's bad. It's just bad. I don't even know what else to say about it.
Yeah.
So-
Cyberpunk should be a place that we learn that games should not be pre-ordered. Or you shouldn't hype it to the level that when you expect it to be like, this is the. Oh no, sorry. Cyberpunk is an example of what happens when the games release. Example of hype games are whatever. What is it called? The scam with the spaceship scam that has earned like $33 million or whatever.
Star Citizen?
Yeah, Star Citizen. That's a game. That's an example of why hype for games are awful and should not happen.
I mean, I'm seeing this hype happening again. Like, I feel like the hype train is just jumping from game to game.
Yes.
Like, before Cyberpunk, the hype train was... what's some Bethesda game I was thinking about? Was Fallout
Starfield.
76, maybe?
No,
Or Red Dead 2. What was the hype train before Cyberpunk?
No, I don't actually remember.
But yeah, Cyberpunk, and now that same hype train. I mean, there was still a hype train for Elden Ring, but that same hype train has just jumped to Elden Ring, and Elden Ring has become
the thing about
Elden Ring has become the Simba that that the hype train is holding up on the rock.
here's the thing. I'm not in the hype train. I still really want Elden Ring, but I think that Elden Ring is made by a company that actually have proven to make very good games, and CD Projekt Red has been held to such a ridiculous fucking standard, and I
For
don't
one
really
game.
For one game.
Yeah.
Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 are not good games, and Witcher 3 is an okay game. Cyberpunk is a bad game. At least FromSoft has very, very good releases under its belt.
Yeah.
And they're taking their goddamn time with Elden Ring compared to Cyberpunk. They haven't said a word about Elden Ring since its announcement, and they're gonna come out, hopefully this year, maybe, and at least show us a trailer for Elden Ring. And then 5 more years, we're never gonna hear a thing about it, but, you know.
Yeah. So what about Ubisoft? We're probably gonna see another Assassin's Creed.
Far Cry 6 stuff.
No, we're not gonna
I don't
see
know.
another. We're not gonna see an Assassin's Creed because we just got Valhalla. But
Oh yeah, that's true. But
Far Cry
Yeah, I
6,
think-
yeah, we're definitely gonna see Far Cry 6.
it's already announced, like release dates and stuff. I think, but more info probably. I don't know. I don't care about Ubisoft. I haven't played a Ubisoft game since like 2015.
We're also gonna see. There's also gonna be a dance number for Just Dance.
Car show. I hope it's a car show, like they had the ones. Oh, look at this really expensive sports car on this gaming conference or
So-
whatever.
So, are we gonna see another Ubisoft Nintendo collaboration this year?
No.
Big sad. Actually, I'm gonna check what has Ubisoft Milan been working on, because they're the team that worked on Rabbids. So let's see. List of Ubisoft subsidiaries. Ubisoft Milan. It seems the last project they made was Kingdom Battle. That can't be true.
You don't trust that it wasn't.
I mean, it says that they it brought Rayman and Rayman 2 to Game Boy Color and Lara Croft Tomb Raider: The Prophecy to Game Boy Advance. The Milan studio served as a support studio for Ubisoft, assisting other studios on many games. Beyond Good and Evil, Rainbow Six, Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Black Flag. Ghost Recon Wildlands is the most recent thing I can see here. And is a core developer of the Just Dance series. There we go. That's the coffin right there.
They're gonna have coffin dance in the next dance game or whatever.
But yeah, I could see us maybe getting Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2. Maybe.
I don't think it happened once. It's never gonna happen again.
Oh man, they made We Dare.
What? I don't know. That's
Oh,
some
don't you know what We Dare is?
shovelware game for Wii.
We Dare is the Wii BDSM game.
Oh, so it is a Wii shovelware game.
It was made it's called a We Dare, but it's WE Dare. Because Nintendo would have fucking murdered them if they called it We Dare. Oh, that's a weird game. But yeah. Maybe we'll see something there. I don't know. Okay, do you think we'll see Beyond Good and Evil 2?
No, I haven't really. You've seen like one trailer of that, right?
We saw like 2 trailers a few years ago.
I just remember the really ugly pig dude.
Yeah, the last time we saw it, well, it was officially announced at E3 2017. Development, let's see, has it been shown since? Doesn't seem like it's been shown since. So yeah, I'm gonna say it. We're seeing Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Maybe it might as well. I care so little about Ubisoft.
Yeah, same here. I could not.
They might be one of the companies that I don't actively hate Ubisoft, because when I look at the new games they're doing, they're at least trying to not be just shitty Ubisoft stuff. But I just don't care about their games. So, yeah. At least I don't actively hate them like, Activision or whatever.
Yeah. Activision. I mean, Activision had they had a redemption arc coming, for a few years there with the 3D platformers that they were releasing and all that. And then they gave Vicarious Visions some kind of spiritual offering to Blizzard. And then they put all the other teams on Warzone and Call of Duty, and I was like, yep. Okay, all the goodwill that you built up over the years, Activision, just gone like that. It was just gone completely in an instance.
And same thing with EA, like EA and Activision. EA, America's worst company of the year winner 2 times in a row.
Which
it's really funny.
Is bullshit, but. I mean, because there are literal companies that dump oil in the ocean and stuff.
Yeah, but capitalism, my dude.
Yeah, but the gamers are upset.
I like when you Google worst company of the year, criticism of Electronic Arts comes up first result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Or is that it for our predictions?
I don't know. I don't really have any more.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for this show. Where can people find you, Carl?
YouTube.com/pieceoftofu. I am currently doing a Paper Mario, the Origami King. I say Let's Play, but I don't like calling it Let's Play, because I'm not really doing that. I'm doing a weird format, basically, but I'm playing through the game blind. And Twitter /a piece of tofu. I put up some hot tweets.
Actually, your Twitter is the piece of tofu.
Whatever. It's the dude with the same face as the YouTube account.
All right. Well, you can find me on this YouTube channel as well as on Twitter at Dennis_Lofgren, where you can find my hot takes on things, hot takes that Carl always enjoys.
I disagree almost every time, and I don't. Sometimes I agree. What was the latest hot take you had?
Let's take a little look at on Twitter here. So here's the Twitters. So first off here, except for this tweet, obviously, we have my predictions for WWDC, which I had one thing correct. App Library did come to the iPad, but everything else I was wrong about.
Here's your latest hot take. A background story for Palpatine set before episode 1. No.
Yes.
It's not gonna happen. No,
I mean,
it's not gonna happen.
I mean, they're gonna tell the story of Plagueis at some point. That is literally outside of the Obi-Wan TV show. A story about Plagueis is literally what people are asking for, so it's gonna happen eventually.
Then you had some take that I have no idea about because I have not watched Indiana Jones ever. That what's Indiana Jones 5 would be a bad movie if it tries to ignore that Shia LaBeouf is Harrison Ford's son. I don't get it.
The fourth Indiana Jones movie had Shia LaBeouf be Indiana Jones' son.
Nice.
And Indiana Jones 4 is universally hated. I like the movie, but it's universally hated, and so I would not be surprised if 5 were to ignore that it happened. I mean, then there's also this. Is it a sign that I'm too old when I cringe every time I watch a TikTok?
You're older than me, and I cringe when I hear about TikTok. TikTok is just Chinese spyware that people have willingly, like, it's obviously Chinese spyware that people have willingly downloaded on their phones.
Yeah, it's interesting. The good thing about it, though, is that you can use TikTok without creating an account, which is what you all should do. Yeah, well, that's about it. I also like this, which was targeted towards Carl entirely.
Why?
Um,
What have I done?
For your comments about Last of Us Part 2.
I was very open with that I haven't played the game and my opinion doesn't count.
All right.
And I know that you respected my opinions about it because I was actually, level-headed. And I'm not a fucking mouth breather like the other people who hate The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, you're not that bad.
Wow. Not that bad.
But yeah, that's a look through my Twitter account, which is probably why you came to the stream. Very engaging content. So yeah, that's it for this show. We'll see you again next time. We don't have a schedule yet. We'll do it at some point in the future.
Yes.
All right. See ya.
Someday.